So, today's topic is a very, very beautiful topic, important topic. The science of communication. కమ్యూనికేషన్ అనేది ఒక టాపిక్ ఈరోజు. అదొక శాస్త్రం. It is based on several principles. Most of the problems that we experience in relationships, in the world at large, is because of communication. It's the communication problems. Somebody will be talking too much, or somebody will not be talking too less. When somebody is supposed to speak, express their ideas, they're not able to do that because they have a fear. Or somebody will be talking too much. It also is a problem. If you have come across people who talk too much, how do you feel? You feel so drained. The energy is so drained when people talk too much. They go on telling and explaining things, and which is not necessary. It is a waste of time. Too much talking, it will not solve the problems. Neither talking less will not be enough for what you want to communicate. So today we'll understand about certain principles of communication. When we are talking about communication, what do you mean by communication? What do you mean by communication means? What is meant by communication for you?
What you are trying to say should be understood by others.
Whatever you are trying to say must be understood by others. You want to convey a message to others. Okay, that is what we are trying to do in communication. Do we all need communication skills? Proper communication skills at home, in our family too. Mostly wives, they say, husbands, they don't communicate at all. Husbands always, they keep quiet. They have complaints about all husbands. My husband never communicates. Don't know how to express in words. And even parents, they need to know how to communicate with children. Children need to know how to communicate with parents. And in between the family members, between brothers and sisters, how to communicate. Apart from this, it also is like communication, it also extends. How you communicate with others, your neighbors. Most of the times there are so many conflicts that comes to us. Conflicts and arguments and discussions and fights, cold wars. It happens with neighbors. Not only neighbors, neighboring states also. Between two states, there is a communication gap. This chief minister and that chief minister, they have a cold war. They fight with words. How do they fight? Through media. They comment on each other. They throw anger on each other through media. And also between countries, communication, lack of communication between countries. See how much the world is suffering because we don't know how to communicate. People, they become very good academicians in the schools and colleges, but they are not given or equipped with enough communication skills. They don't know how to communicate. When to speak, when not to speak, what to speak, what not to speak. how to speak, how not to speak, where to speak, where not to speak. This need to be understood by all, because even very, very great, intelligent IITs and academicians, scientists, when it comes to communication, they lack communication. Think about the leader of a company. Without communication skills, what will happen? The company will go down. What will happen? The leader of a country is not able to communicate properly. The whole country goes into collapse. Even in our families also it happens. Individually, we are all the time, either we are under communicating or over communicating, or sometimes inappropriate communications. All these things we are doing. Today let us understand, because this is one of the core issues people are going through now. A few days back, when I asked Harika, who is the angel of Life Research Academy, and I asked her, what is the main problem people they go through? That will be the topic for Sunday's class. She said, communication. Communication is the main problem. Let us all understand the principles, and so that we can apply them in daily life and improve our communication skills. A teacher also needs to learn about how to communicate to a student in the classroom setting also. The teacher may be very knowledgeable, but if the teacher doesn't know how to communicate, how to express the message, how to convey all that teachings to the student, it is waste. The knowledge is waste. How Buddha communicated with the world, still it is echoing. Those words are echoing in the minds and hearts of people. Buddha, Krishna, Christ, or many such wonderful masters, the ageless teachings they have given, delivered, they communicated at a very different level. So let us understand today. So the words communication, community, do you find a kind of similarity in these words? Community, communication, communion, commune. They have a common thread which connects these words. So community is the state of common agreement. In a community, we have a common agreement. Whether it is a small family community, even in the family also there is a common agreement, a common understanding. That's how the family runs. That's how the society runs. That's how the country runs. That's how the world runs. Right? Community is based on some kind of common agreements. We agree to each other. If you say, I don't agree to you, children, they say to the parents, I don't agree to you. What will happen? Fights will happen. The child's son will fight with the father all the time. Or if the wife says, I don't agree to you, to the husband, what will happen? There's going to be a big war between wife and husband. Community is based on an agreement, common agreement. And communication is the act of expressing that agreement or effort to create it. So communication makes us actually commune with people. You find that community, unity is there, right? In community, there is a unity. There is a something singularity or oneness. that bonds everyone, the whole human species. So, communication must bring us to unity, not this gap. Communication always must be bringing unison, unity, unitedness, togetherness. That's the whole objective of communication. Otherwise we can remain silent without speaking. No expression, neither through gestures, nor through actions, nor through words. Just silently we can live like that. But there is a beauty of expression in words, through gestures, through actions, behaviors. People, we say that communication is not just words. It is how you express the words. Sometimes we express the words with a different tone, different gesture. We need to understand that. Your actions speak louder than words. We say that. Why do we say that? Actions speak louder than words. You say sweetly. We are good friends, but your actions, no. You are rejecting, you are looking angrily at somebody. So we need to understand this. Just communication is not just verbal communication, it is non-verbal. It is energy, it is your actions, your emotional expression through your gestures, your body language, how you communicate. It is entire thing, verbal and non-verbal. Okay, friends? So communication, community, communion, all of them, they have a deep connection and a deep thread which connects all of these words. Okay, and in any communication, it's always there are two people in communication. Communication is not just only one person who that person communicate with. Communication is always, there is a sender and a receiver. You have a mobile phone to communicate. If you have, there's nobody to talk to you, what will happen with your mobile phone? It's useless. You need somebody to receive your calls, somebody to listen to when you are saying, and when the person says something, you need to listen also. It's a two-way always. A sender sometimes sends all the beautiful words of wisdom to somebody who is not receiving. In Bible these words are said, don't throw the pearls before the swine. You know swine? Pig. If you throw pearls before the swine, it won't understand pearls. Even pearls of wisdom you will share with a lot of people, who are not ready to receive. Who will receive? They will not be receiving it. Somebody need to also be receptive, open mind, open hearts. Communication, you can see this sender and receiver. For example, in a family, between parents and children, between wife and husband, brothers and sisters, it's always two-way communication. It's not a monologue. Always parents saying do this, do that, all these things, but it's a two-way communication. Even they need to listen to children. Even wife and husband, it's not a monologue. Always husband saying things and wife following. It's a two-way communication. Always two ways. So the second principle is communications are dialogues and not monologues. All communications are dialogues, not monologues. Monologues is very disinteresting to people. They get bored. Scientists, they have found out attention span for a child is very less. Maybe less than a minute. After 1 minute you go on speaking and speaking, the child loses the interest. Their minds will wander here and there. For adults, it's 7 minutes, it seems. Within 7 minutes, you will not be interested to listen to me. You will be yawning, you will be sending non-verbal signals to me. Oh, you stop, change the topic. Or you will be showing this way, that way, you will be scratching, you will be showing me. Indirectly, non-verbally, you will communicate with me. So, it is always, all the communications must be more personal. You need to know the person whom you are speaking to. More personal and engaging. If it is not engaging, all of you will lose interest about this class and you will leave. You will start leaving the class. I need to connect with all of you at a very personal level, one-to-one. Though I am speaking in the group now, but actually I am speaking to each one of you. I am also touching to every mind and every heart, every soul here. Why? Because I open myself. I am not with closed mind. I am not with closed heart. I am not closed myself. I just say fearlessly what is my truth. I realize my experiences. And without any fear, without any kind of inhibition, without any kind of restriction in me, I engage in this dialogue with all of you. It's not a monologue. I also listen to you. I'll also allow you to speak to me, dialogue with me. So all communications are dialogues, not monologues, not a one-way speech. One-way speech, after 7 minutes you will get bored. Okay, friends? And communicate with clarity. Many people, they speak and speak and speak and give lectures and all that, no clarity. You need to be communicating very precise information. Simple, very, very precise, clear information. You may take a husband and wife, they may take 1 hour time communicating with something, but with no clarity. The husband is trying to explain this and that, 101 things, and wife will not understand anything, because our communication is always simple. All that 1 hour talk can be condensed into just one single statement. People try to explain things, then they lose interest to listen to all that 1 hour of explanation. Specificity is better than ambiguity. Ambiguous talks, doubts, and all the time this way, that way, and swinging in the talk, ambiguous, you're not clear. Specific, be specific in your communication. What you are communicating with others, whether it is in your office, whether it is in your family, whether it is in front of group of people, what are you trying to communicate? Be specific. And simple and concise, always better than complicated and confusing matters or confusing informations. We are here to make things simple, not make everything complex. We are not here, not for that, making things complex. We have to simplify things. This power of word is a beautiful energy. With this, so much of manifestations can happen if you clearly communicate with your words, a right speech. Very concise, very simple. Make things simple. Don't complicate. People, they waste so much time in speaking and speaking and speaking, never come to solutions. Why? Because they're confused. They're complex. They're not specific. They want to tell something to the boss, But they will not say that to the boss. They say so many other things, and by the time boss will lose the interest. What they want to say, they need to communicate specifically, without ambiguity, without confusion, without complexity. This is the third principle, communication with clarity. Fourth point is, what is the real motive behind? Most of the times our talk, our conversations, our communications, there is some motivation which is hidden. Sometimes it's a little fear-based motivation, or we want to exploit somebody. We want to manipulate somebody. For example, I want to convince all of you about a product that I made. To sell my product, I have to manipulate your minds through my speech communication skills. But it is going to be very harmful for a lot of people. That's what is done mostly. Marketing, all that is nothing but misuse, abuse of communication in a very wrong way. But what Buddha or Christ or Krishna or Guru Nanak Ji, all these masters, they communicated with a real motive behind. The real motive is to serve life, in the service of life. We need to understand that. Not for manipulating. The words of wisdom coming from a master is coming with a real motive, real intention from deep within. So transferring ideas, inspiring action, spreading the vision. If I communicate these three elements, I need to also understand. For example, my communication need to transfer the ideas. Whatever the ideas, for example, today's topic, communication skills, I need to really impart that, transfer the ideas, whatever the ideas that I have about this topic. Second is inspiring action. I need to also make you inspire, that you can translate into action. It's not just the theory or information that you are gathering. Third thing is spreading their visions. Like, for example, your vision need to enlarge through this. That is the communication, real communication. The real motive behind communications is, if you're speaking to your husband, speaking to your child, speaking to your brother, sister, speaking to a friend or anybody, it is to transfer ideas, it is to inspire action and enlarge the vision in the service of life. And the key is to approach each interaction with a servant's heart. To serve. Servant's heart is to serve. And when you truly focus on contributing more than receiving, you will have accomplished the goal. Otherwise, most of the communications in the world that we see is, what do I get? What do I take away from here? Instead of asking ourselves, what do I contribute? We need to always have this motive of service. What do I contribute through this communication by spending this time with a person? How can I make a difference with sharing these ideas, inspiring them into action, enlarging their vision? That is the real motive. It's called servant's heart. We are all servants of life. We are all serving life. Servants of humanity, servants of the world. We need to understand this word serve, service properly. In the service, there is no business kind of approach where, what do I get? Otherwise, most of the communications is like, we don't speak unless I do get something from others. It's a kind of exchange, we need to have more exchange. We want to make something more money or something like that with this communication. We need to understand that the true motive must be clear for all of us. When you are speaking to anybody, ask yourself, what is my true motivation behind it? Why am I taking this or sharing these ideas? What is my true motive behind? And creating a holistic response, even go beyond to evoke an intuitive response. What is holistic response? By sharing these ideas, when you're communicating a message with anybody, it must evoke an intuitive response and a holistic response. A holistic response is not just a very superficial kind of thoughts they get, but they enlarge their perspectives towards life. They see big picture, holistic response. Holistic is సంపూర్ణత, సంపూర్ణమైనటువంటి ఆలోచన ధోరణిని మనం అక్కడ ఇన్స్పైర్ చేయడం కమ్యూనికేషన్లో. Parents can speak to the child. They inspire a holistic response. Child understands how to think systemically or in a holistic way. And intuitive response, somewhere our intuitive mind is far richer, far greater than logical rational mind. All of us know there is a left brain and right brain. Our scientists, I heard from an article that I have read. In that article it is mentioned that our left brain neuronal cells, they receive around 1000 bytes per second information. Our neuronal cells, left brain, this is the left brain. Left brain receives 1000, in computer language we say bytes information, kilobytes, megabytes, terabytes. Now we have much more, gigabytes. So this kind of information, left brain neuronal cells is receiving only 1000 bytes. A genius is using left brain, they can receive 30,000 to 40,000 bytes per second information. A genius, like Albert Einstein, like Madame Curie, like some other of these kind of genius, Leonardo da Vinci, using 30,000 to 40,000 bytes per second information they are receiving, because this is the receptive, very receptive. But your other part of your brain, which is called right brain, which uses the faculty of intuition response, is like it receives information 30,000 to 40,000 billion bytes of information. 30 to 40,000 billion bytes of information. Enormous, that received by right brain. In communication is always, communication is not just a logical, very superficial, but at a very, on a different level, a different plane communication is happening. True communication always is like it evokes an intuitive response. I am telling what is an intuitive response. That means you will hear what is not even spoken between the words. There's some, if for example, if I don't speak between the words, between the lines, between the sentences, there is something else there. Many people with the right brain, they even capture that intuitions, the information, 30,000 to 40,000 billion bytes of information. What great things happen to a child who is taught about right brain approach, about intuitive intelligence. So friends, this is the fourth key principle. Fifth one is an open mind. A person who is speaking also need to be with open mind. For example, it's like not a monologue, I'm just sharing my ideas. I need to listen to all of you with an open mind. Even you may not agree with me. You may say, I don't agree, I see a different version, different viewpoint. I need to be open to listen to it. Such an openness really brings beautiful communication without conflicts. It's not the opinion that matters, but rather the willingness to discuss it with open mind and learn. That's why all communication, true communications, will make everyone evolve and progress. All together they evolve and progress, including the person who is like a communicator, whoever is sharing the ideas. Parents sharing their ideas through communication with children, they also need to be with open minds. Wife need to be with open mind. Husband need to be with open mind, to listen with open mind. And another important principle is shut up and listen. Communication is not just speaking, communication is also listening. They both go hand in hand together. It's just a continuation to the next other point that I just mentioned. Simply broadcasting your message will not have the same result as engaging in meaningful conversation. So when you speak to your children as parents, you also need to listen to them. Engage in that beautiful conversation. Be fully present there. When they're saying don't filter all the things, instead listen completely with all the openness. Many people in the world, they suffer because there's nobody to listen to them. Their soul wants to speak, but there's nobody to listen. Even if you go to psychotherapist, psychoanalyst who takes a fee, says $100 per 1 hour I charge, I will listen to you. But they will not truly listen because it's boring. The same story, they know it's a victim story. They go on blaming the parents. They go on telling this story, that story. But they're paying, so he sits there, he will be nodding the head and nothing. And this person keeps coming back. For a whole year, 10 years, the patient remains a patient. But he gets his collection of his fees throughout the year and many years. All psychoanalysis or psychotherapy, true communication is not there. After listening, psychotherapists also can dialogue, not a monologue. Mostly they're not listening. It's important to listen. What are they trying to communicate? What is that pain that they're trying to communicate? What is that message they want to communicate? Capture it with open mind. And seventh principle is replace ego with empathy. Holier than thou, or I am better than you, I know better, you shut up, you listen, I don't listen to you. This is ego. Whenever you bring an ego, communication is shut off, because it's only one-way communication. So replace ego with empathy. As a leader, as somebody who is also communicating with other friend, you need to replace ego. Put aside the ego, chop your ego, and be empathic. Empathy is with your heart. It's not just minds communicating, it's the hearts communicating. It's a deep communication. Empathetic communicators display a level of authenticity and transparency. There's a certain level of rapport built, trust built, when there is a heart-to-heart communication between any human beings. It's not just superficial communication, but they are very deeply engaged in the conversation. Something meaningful discussion and transference of ideas is happening. A meaningful exchange of ideas is happening. That's very, very beautiful. When between friends also, this is very, very important. And 8th point is stillness speaks. What does that mean? Your
Body language, expressions, the tone of voice.
tone of your voice, all that matters. Yes, and also a person who has found their stillness can really speak very well. It also means that those who are in the very periphery of their mind, superficial in their lives, they get too excited very quickly and they lose the interest again. There's no depth in life, somebody. Stillness speaks. My favorite author, favorite master is Eckhart Tolle. I highly recommend his books. Power of Silence, I think. Stillness Speaks is the second book written by Eckhart Tolle. Stillness speaks. It's through non-verbal. When you reach to your depths of your silence, your mauna, antar mauna, what happens? From there real communication happens. No confusion, no ambiguity, very specific. Whatever that you want to convey, from there it emerges through your expression. In the words, in your body language, in your tone, and in your eye contact, the way you look into the eyes when you speak with empathy, that happens. So stillness speaks is another important principle that we need to learn. Read between the lines. So mostly all the communication is actually what is happening in those gaps is non-verbal mostly. And 9th one is speak to groups as individuals. For example, many people, they have fear of speaking. The fear of being rejected. Fear of being public humiliation. What if I speak wrongly? What if I not able to convey? That fear, underconfidence, in the one-on-one basis they speak very well. But when it comes to 10 people, 100 people, 10,000, lakh, million, billion people, you have to speak. They become shaky. Always we need to remember that there is an underlying fear in us. The fear of being inadequate. Low confidence is coming from that fear of being not adequate enough. If you deal with that fear, if you know that you are adequate, you're telling yourself a lie that I'm not good enough. Everyone is good enough in this universe. Everyone is unique and very, very special. Is born special and unique in this universe. It's our own distorted perception that comes to us. And when it comes to speak in front of people, we can't speak. The fear comes to us. I have seen how children, they speak because I keenly observe everything. I learn from nature. I learn from children. Once I was traveling in Europe with my friends, and all the families, European friends, families, they're all together. And there what happened is all of them, they have children, but the place where we are going, children are not allowed. So what to do? All of them, they are from different countries. one from Holland, one from Switzerland, another from Czech Republic, and one from Soviet Union. So all of them, these different nationalities children, they put them in a kind of group and they ask to play, but they don't have a common language. Nobody knows a common language. But it is strange, after 2 hours when we came back, I observed these children. I'm so curious, what happens to these children who don't know how to communicate with each other, completely new to each other, no common language, but they're communicating better than adults through non-verbal communication. They're able to understand each other. It's not the words, it's the heart language they're speaking. True communication happens there. It's the language of the heart. They are able to express and communicate without language. So why I'm telling this is, actually people have the fear of communication. They block their throat chakras, Vishuddha chakra. They get a lot of problems, thyroid problems because of that. They want to say something but they can't say. Fear of being ridiculed, fear of being rejected. There's a deep inner fear. It blocks their communication. We need to overcome that. And speak to 10 people in a conference room or 10,000 people in an auditorium and have them feel as if they were speaking directly to each one of them as an individual. It doesn't matter whether you're speaking to 10 people or 10,000 people. For you, you see everyone as only one person only. All 10,000 people, for you is only one person. You are speaking, you are conveying your message with clarity, with simplicity, very concise information, without fear, and you openness, open mind, honesty, transparency. And what happens is you are actually touching 10,000 people there. And 10th point is right thoughts, right words, right actions. In a communication, what is happening? Your thoughts are translated into words. Words are translated into some kind of actions. Manasa, vacha, karmena. Manas, whatever is in the manas, the thought process, you're translating that into certain words. You're expressing through words. You are forming sentences, words. And you also bringing it into action plane. You're also behaving in certain ways. These three things are very important. If you have right thoughts, what are right thoughts? What are wrong thoughts? When there is right, there is a wrong. The thoughts to harm others, the thoughts to hurt others, the thoughts to harm your own self, thoughts to hurt your own self, the thoughts which condemn yourself, the thoughts which will judge you or judge others. These kind of thoughts are called as not right thoughts. Right thoughts, right intentions. You will always see that it helps you and others. It's always in the service of life, the right thoughts. Right words. You will have right thoughts, but you may not have right words sometimes because you are not with awareness. You need to catch yourself with full awareness what you're speaking. No wrong words. That's why so much emphasis is given on this just right speech. Samma Vacha by Buddha. Right speech. Sariyena Vaku. Right walk. That's very important. You need to be so diligent. You need to really bring so much awareness in daily life. Before you speak, you need to just look at the words. Am I really expressing what I want to convey through these words or not? Reframe the words. Convey it properly. Wrong words, wrong speech, it will be so damaging. It has severe consequences. People have very disturbed relationships because somebody has uttered wrong words. You can't take back those words anymore. Once there is somebody is wounded because of the words, and it is done. The person is hurt and never the person comes back into the same kind of deep communion. Most of the relationship problems because the wrong words that we utter. Even with right intentions, you use the wrong words, it will have the same repercussions. Always use the right words, right speech. So important. Parents need to be very, very, very cautious, very aware about what they are speaking to the children. Why? Because those words are directly going into their subconscious mind. The children, they absorb. If you go on telling to your child, you are a dumb fellow, you always fail, and they keep listening from harsh words like that, the child will be actually storing that in the subconscious mind as a block. That's why it's so important, the right words. And even after right word, right thoughts, right words, right actions also important. You need to translate that, what is appropriate and right, into action, into behaviors. How you behave, how you conduct yourself is also very important. We can behave rudely with somebody. So much of rudeness. Misbehave. Everything is right inside, but you are very harsh in movements, in body movements. You very, very rude to people with your behaviors. Sometimes a guest has come into your home, and if you shut down the door in front of their eyes, in front of their face, it's very rude. So important that how to behave, what kind of actions. It's all non-verbal communication sometimes, you know. Your actions, they speak louder than words. So what is important for this is practice of meditation and awareness. Meditation practice is not just a ritual. Meditation is cultivation of your own self, and in the process discovering your true self, your potential self, your magnificent self. So meditation, and when you open your eyes, you need to also be very diligent, aware about how you are speaking, how you are acting or behaving. Your behaviors also very important. Not to misbehave. And your awareness will catch hold of you when you have a tendency to take advantage on others through your words, through your behaviors. You want to manipulate others. You want to sometimes transgress free will of others. They don't like to do something, but you, with your action, you're pushing them. You're very hard. We are pushing somebody, and it's a transgression. Always in communications, always respect. even the other's free will. So this all comes with practice of meditation and awareness. So friends, these are the few principles that I wanted to share with you today. And with true communication between a sender and a receiver, between two people, it always makes them rise above into the higher levels of their consciousness. If there is no true communication between a sender and a receiver, it always makes them collapse. Sometimes we waste the time in the communication. There is no point in communication. Even if you say other person is not listening, there is no point in communication. It ends there. So friends, let us all become true communicators, good communicators from today. Whatever these principles, we just recap very quickly. First principle is sender and receiver. Between them, they need to, receiver also, when they are receiving, must be open minds. Receive. When somebody is giving you some information, receive it. And also whatever you want to communicate, you communicate. Other person must receive it. And second is, communications are dialogues, not monologues. It must be personal and engaging. Every conversation, every talk, every communication, remember this. It must touch the heart of a person, your communication. Without that, there is no meaning for it. It will be just only blah blah blah. It must be very touching communication. And communicate with clarity. No ambiguity. Specificity is important. Simplicity is important in communication. Even the most complex matters can be simplified. The truths are very utterly simple. A true communicator communicates through simple language, simple words. And what is the real motive behind? In the communication, check yourself, your own internal checking you must do. What is my motive behind this communication? Why do I want to communicate? What is the real motive? Have this motive of great ones like Buddha, Christ and Krishna, who always wanted to serve others. Every communication must serve. Don't think about what do I get. In relationships, communication problems are because all relationships are like what do I get from the other person instead of what do I give to the other person. Think the other way. In relationships, how can I serve this person? What can I give? What can I offer through my words? How can I serve this person? That is more important. Otherwise, it's like a very business transactions, all relationships. An open mind is needed in all communications. People may reject your ideas, but have an open mind. Receive all rejections also with open mind. It will be controversial also. Some may not agree with it. No need to agree for whatever you are sharing. You need to take all things as it is. Shut up and listen. Sometimes you listen to others also. You need to shut down your 5 senses. Without the filters of perception in your mind. Replace ego with empathy. No ego in communications. When you need to really share something, You want to emphasize on those points, stress on those points, repeat them 3-4 times with empathy. You don't need to be egoistic, you know, I know better than you, you don't know anything, you are stupid, you are ignorant, you are unenlightened, I am enlightened. You know, you are creating a distinction. Spirituality never creates distinctions or differences. It won't build the walls. Spirituality always brings the union, unison. All people, everyone as equals. That's the true communication. And stillness speaks is the 8th key principle. Practice a lot of stillness. Speak from the stillness. Our Master Loknath, he went into 40 days Mauna. Loknath is sitting there. And 40 days of silence he is doing since many years. Whenever given opportunity, 40 days he goes into silence. He never communicates through words. In that period, whatever he need to communicate, he will write it down. And he has touched to his deep self. The stillness has come in him. A profound shift happens. From the stillness he speaks now. What he speaks has much more value, much more depth. There is so much love, there is so much of wisdom in each word that he speaks. Why? Because stillness speaks. It's a good practice. Those who have a compulsive habit of speaking, don't speak for a month or 40 days. Or over talkative people, I have a deep fear about over talkative people. I go away, I tell them all the excuses. I'm busy, I'm doing this, and all. I avoid them because they suck the energy, you know, the energy vampires. They go on telling the same story again and again, like a victim story. They never come out of the whirlpool of these emotions. Because I have been in this kind of field since 25 years, people I know, when I meet, I know about, you know, what kind of energy they're coming, you know, with this kind of victim energy. They never look into the solution. They remain like a victim, vicious cycles. So over talkative people, it's good that they can practice stillness. First, external mauna. What will happen is internal mauna happen. Not only silence in the words, the silence in the mind comes. After that, there's the stillness within. In the background, the stillness all the time is running. We'll be able to anchor ourselves there. There's no anxiousness, there's no fear anymore for you. Practice it. Practice makes us, sadhana makes us actually master this. And speak to groups as individuals. This is another principle. All of us, in a way, everyone is a leader, born communicator. Each one of us, sometimes we need to speak to groups of people also. Overcome your inhibitions, fears, fear of being ridiculed. And the first time I was asked to speak in Hindi. I don't know Hindi. It's very difficult. But I gathered my composure. You know, language of the heart is more important. No need for any language actually. You want to communicate something with so much errors in my grammar, all that I communicated. First time I had to speak in English because I learned only my mother tongue Telugu for the first 18 years of my life. I didn't know how to speak one English word. What I did was, you know, I was asked to speak. I was in my second year intermediate at that time. I was asked to speak in the class in English. I was with so much shakiness and all that, you know. If I reflect back, I can understand now. There's so much fear that I will not be conveying the message. Fear I will not be able to properly communicate. Overcome that. Language of heart is important. I still speak so many grammar mistakes, so many pronunciation is not good sometimes, but it doesn't matter. I found people, they receive your true message, convey from your heart. Language doesn't matter. And right thoughts, right words, right actions. So important. Meditation practice, awareness practice every day, moment by moment. It's a lifetime's practice. It's a Zen practice. If your meditation is only for 1 hour, after that you are not you are an unmeditative person. Meditation is a waste. Meditation is living meditation. Every moment must become meditative. Only during 1 hour meditation your mind is tranquil, other times 23 hours your mind is chaotic. What is the point? You must carry that stillness even the other moments. Stay grounded, practice composure. So friends, this is a very important practice for your communication skills. I have personally met so many meditators, millions of them. I have seen a drastic change in them. In their way of speech, mannerisms, behaviors, the way they look at life, it changes. Meditation transforms us. We must do the sadhana for it. So friends, with this we are going to end this topic, and I open this to listen to you, all of you. So each one, any question, anything that you want to share, you're most welcome to share. You can come forward and share, about. Yes, Adi, please come. Any question, any clarity, anything that you want to?
So I have a question.
Yes.
About Zen words and Zen action. It seems like they sometimes they would use harsh words.
Right.
And we find their behavior maybe not good or not a nice one.
Right.
So how, what is the difference?
Wow, this is nice. Very good question. So Zen words, Zen actions are very rude sometimes, very paradoxical, because masters, we say, very compassionate, all masters, so much kindness. But Zen masters, they don't mind hitting you with a stick. They use sometimes the words which will be cutting you into pieces. Sometimes they slam the door in front of you, they shut the door, kick you out. Why these harsh words, harsh behaviors? That's the question from Adi. We must understand that Zen masters, their role is totally different. They are speaking at another level, from another plane, another dimension. Because when a Zen master is very harsh on somebody, know that he is demonstrating highest levels of compassion. They are not just looking at the person only from superficial, only bodily. They are seeing deep into their minds. They are able to see their wounds. They are able to see their patterns. They are able to see where they are stuck. And Zen masters are known for their approach, sometimes very rude, they hit the person too. Out of so much compassion, one word they utter, and that word will transform the person. It happened even in my life. One somebody who was coming to me for counseling sessions, almost 3 years over, nothing is happening, but the person always calls and tells the same story. The same thing I heard more than 100 times. That day a Zen master came into me. Means I became like a Zen master. I told him that you are an asshole. You are just a rascal. You're repeating the same old victim story. You are wasting my time. Outwardly with angry tone I told, but inwardly I was speaking from compassion. I was very aware. I have seen this person is going to repeat the same old behaviors because people are so egoistic. Out of their ego, they prefer to be in the victim state. They don't want to actually come out of their suffering because of their ego. I have to blast the ego of this person that day. I have to say this to him. He did not sleep for more than 48 hours, it seems. Later on, the wife called and shared with me that what happened, I don't know. My husband is not speaking, not eating anything, and he's not sleeping and speaking to me also for 48 hours. After 48 hours, he's transformed completely. He completely changed. No more victim. He came out of it. Sometimes Zen masters, we meet them when we are so ready. Our ego is ready to be blasted. And they need to give a kick on their back. And just a gentle kick sometimes. And what happens is forever the ego is chopped. Most of the Zen masters, they do this. It's an ego chopping exercise. Because what blocks us from our awakening state, our realization state, is our ego. We are stuck with our ego patterns. That harshness is needed. For example, if somebody comes to me and goes on blaming their parents, I don't listen to them. They go on actually doing the same thing over and over again forever. I know that. If I give soft corner to that person will make me their parent. Then a therapeutic relationship develops. They will be so dependent on me now. They'll keep coming back to me for many counseling sessions. It won't solve the problem. Instead, I will pretend harshness there. I need to be a little strict. Stop. You are repeating the same old story. I don't want to hear. Don't waste my time. I give honest feedback. It's very different from what we have spoken. This is for the extreme cases, I'm telling you. Okay? So all extreme cases go to Zen masters. It's because they are ready. They need that. Okay, thank you, Adi, for this question. So sometimes compassion doesn't mean that you need to help others. Compassion also means sometimes you withdraw yourself from helping others. Why? Because you are not making them dependent on you. The whole goal of spirituality is to make others very individual, very independent, very free. Not make them somebody parasitic on you. That's why you withdraw helping others. A master knows, because the awareness levels are so high, they know this person is becoming very addicted, very parasitic, very dependent. I need to cut that. They need to stand for themselves, stand on their feet. Okay, did you get the point? Did I communicate well with you, Adi?
Yes.
Thank you. So one more question, friends. Anybody want to share something? And one more question? You're most welcome. I want to listen to you. Yeah, please.
So, not related with the today's topic, but some.
Yeah, please. I communicate with you. Come. You communicate now exactly what you want to share.
Good morning, friends. My name is Mahesh. ఈ రోజు నేను షేర్ చేసుకోవాలనుకునేది ఈ రోజు టాపిక్ సంబంధించింది కాదు, బట్ నాకు మెడిటేషన్లో వచ్చిన ఒక ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ మీతో షేర్ చేసుకోవాలనుకుంటున్నాను. నేను డిసెంబర్ ఫస్ట్ వీక్లో ఇక్కడ 2 days వర్క్షాప్కి అటెండ్ అయ్యాను. అప్పుడు ఒక టాపిక్లో హీలింగ్ అనే ఒక టాపిక్లో మీకు ఎవరికైనా ఏదైనా సమ్ హెల్త్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉంటే కమ్యూనికేట్ విత్ ద పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది బాడీ అని చెప్పి సార్ మెడిటేషన్ చేయించారు. అప్పుడు నాకు హెడేక్ ఉండేది. నేను ఐ వుడ్ లైక్ టు concentrate on my forehead, but suddenly my concentration was drawn to my stomach. Then also I expressed
right.
There is something problem with your digestive system. Immediately you went to the doctor అని నాకు మెసేజ్ వచ్చింది. బట్ నాకు అప్పుడు ఎలాంటి ఫిజికల్ సిమ్టమ్స్ లేవు. నేను దాన్ని అంత సీరియస్గా తీసుకోలేదు. ఓకే, లెట్ us చూద్దాము అని అనుకున్నాను. రీసెంట్లీ ఏప్రిల్ ఫస్ట్ వీక్లో నాకు సడన్గా వామిటింగ్స్ అయ్యి బ్లడ్ వచ్చింది. సో నేను అప్పుడు డాక్టర్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళాను. డాక్టర్ ఎండోస్కోప్ ఇచ్చేసి స్టమక్ లో కొంచెం ర్యాషెస్ లాగా స్టార్ట్ అయింది అని చెప్పారు. సో ఎటువంటి ఫిజికల్ సిమ్టమ్స్ లేకుండా 3 months ఎర్లియర్ గానే నాకు ఇలాంటి ఒక మెసేజ్ రావడం చాలా ఆశ్చర్యంగా అనిపించింది.
రైట్, దట్స్ బ్యూటిఫుల్. వావ్, దట్స్ I will give some more clarity on this, what happens, why it happened for you. Okay? Thank you. Your name is Mahesh.
Mahesh.
So Mahesh, what he shared is also it's beautiful. In a workshop, he was going through a meditation process where he wanted to communicate with his body part. There was a headache for him. He wants to speak to the head. Why there is an ache in the head. But in the meditation, what happened? His attention went to stomach. Instead of headache, he was speaking to stomach. Stomach gave the message that you need to check, there is some problem here. After 3 months or so later, suddenly one day he became sick. There were vomitings and blood vomitings. Blood was coming out, and he went to go to doctors to check what happened. And to finally doctors diagnosed this is an ulceration. There is something that's erosions, gastric erosions are there through endoscopy. He was asking me, he was sharing that I'm so surprised. How could this happen? In meditation, I came to know about my body condition, whatever is going to happen before 3 months, internally whatever is happening. How this happens? Here there is a communication also here. Nice communication, right? Your body is communicating with you. When you are meditating, you become aware. Your body cells, they're speaking to you. Mostly when we are not aware, we ignore them. We ignore all the messages given by the body. One day the body goes through a crisis, health crisis, and we reach to that point and where you have no other option except to go to the doctor and admit in the hospital. But in meditation, your body alerts you, it communicates with you, it speaks to you, it tells you exactly what's happening. So there are trillion body cells in the body, trillions of body cells. Each cell is communicating with each other. Trillions of body cells communicating with each other. Do you believe in this? Yes. Science is proving this fact. Your eyes Whatever they are going through, your ears knows, your brain knows, all the neuronal cells knows, your muscles they know. Everything is known by every single cell in the body. They have a intracellular communication, intercellular communication. Is it not something very, very beautiful in our system, in our body? Something very, very far intelligent mechanism in the body, in our system. And friends, those who practice awareness, they'll be able to listen to what your body is speaking. And sometimes they give the solutions. They tell you what to do. And why they are going through that pain or suffering. They give you that information. You need to expand your awareness and listen carefully. Your body cells, they speak to you, instruct you. I told about intuition process, right? That intuition will capture exactly the information. There are some conflicts in us at a psychological and emotional plane. These conflicts which are not dealt will be translated into biological conflicts. They lead to cancers, they lead to many disorders and diseases, illnesses in the body. So the research is saying mind-body connections. There's a connection. When you heal that conflict in the mind, your body heals. But for that, initially you can also open yourself to listen to your system, your body. And your body tells you through this language of sensations, the symptoms, it speaks to you. The pain is a language. The pain in the body is telling you, you fellow, don't ignore me, you take care of me. It is telling you. You need to really pay attention to it. Love it, love your body, take care of it. It may be asking for good food, it's asking for rest, sleep, change your thought patterns, it's asking several things, it's giving you a message. There is an inner conflict that needs to be addressed. Meditation is so beautiful in that it expands our awareness. And we become good communicators. Not only with our body, even outside our body also. In meditation, we listen to masters. We get so many experiences which are inexplicable. You don't know why this experience is coming. It's a metaphysical, you can't interpret it with your logical mind. You can't interpret it. You see so many visions, you see a master coming telling you a specific message. After that, you took a 360-degree turn in your life because you open yourself to the communication. Thank you, Mahesh, for sharing this, and let us all become true communicators, real communicators. Communication, as I said, it's not only just speaking, it's also listening. Both forms the real communication. And I also request one more question. Yes. Please say your name also first.
I'm Sanjam from...
Yeah, maybe it's that side, you can turn that side.
I just wanted to share something that I've been, after the last workshop in a child and the initial workshop, I experienced a lot of astral travel. I'm still not able to understand why it is happening. A. B. How to channelize it in the right direction.
Right.
And C. I mean, when I'm working in my office or in work, it interferes. It starts involuntarily, which can be dangerous for my kind of work. So I need to know how to,
Is it a spontaneous astral travels?
Yes, spontaneous.
Is it happening while you're awake?
Sometimes while awake and sometimes...
Sometimes your workplace, you're making astral travels?
When I'm working, I'm like really concentrated on my work and suddenly I feel that I'm above it and then I made a big mistake.
Right.
While it could have been life-threatening for everyone, so that was a really...
Tell about your profession, what you're doing.
I'm a pilot, so while I'm landing...
Let us clap the pilot. Pilot as the astral travels is too dangerous while doing
That is my experience. I was trying to land. I'm landing the aircraft. I'm really focused. You have to be very focused.
Very focused.
And in that focus, I started feeling I'm lifting, and I'm supposed to give a particular check, a movement at a particular time. I gave it early. that could have been a crash. The captain next to me saved it, otherwise it would have been very, very bad.
Oh, right.
So I want to know how to control it. Or
So important this.
Scary.
Yeah. So friends, see, sometimes we say astral travel is good. Here in her case, astral travel is very, very worse or bad. It's damaging to not only her life, but lives of many thousands, hundreds of people. So we can't say that meditation or astral travel is good here. Because in such cases where we need to understand the inner dynamics, why her soul is trying to make more astral travels, what is she seeking through those experiences. That's what is the main point here. Astral travels are done because number one is to gather astral knowledge. You go out of body to some other plane where you have a different experience. That experience is translated into knowledge. You will understand, oh, there is life elsewhere. Life is not just this physical in the body. There is other body which never dies. Okay, this is mainly the intention of the astral travel, to gather experience and knowledge. In your case, the astral travels are, instead of gaining knowledge, it is becoming life-threatening. There are two possible reasons here. The first reason is you are in the midway of your sadhana. Your practice of spiritual path or awareness, you are in the middle. Till someone reaches to the one threshold point of sadhana, all these experiences can be so intense. They are very spontaneous. Sometimes while you are very wide awake, suddenly you are walking on the road, you've gone out of body, you collapse there. You are driving a car, you are going out of body, suddenly you may do an accident. So a person who is in the middle need to aspire to complete the sadhana, okay, by asking yourself few questions. One is, what am I seeking? What is my astral body really looking for? What kind of an experience? Because there is an intention behind all things. Okay? The second reason I see in your possible reason, one more possibility, but we need to, is the benefit of doubt. People, they find spiritual path as a bypass mechanism. This is called spiritual bypass. When the stress, life itself is so struggle and very fearful, and they escape into spiritual path, including spiritual travels or astral travels. That also is one more possibility. We have to see what it really is important for you. But the solution here is, what is your soul is really looking for? What is that your astral body is seeking through these experiences? Is the astral body coming out to avoid certain things in the life? Or is the astral body coming out for seeking new experiences, to expand the knowledge? And one more thing is, I recommend is, to ground yourself more. Only do astral travels when you are meditating, not while you are driving the aeroplane. Because that also is very important. It's called grounding. Because spiritual path, the third possibility I'm telling, is people may lose the groundedness. because the high spiritual energy, that is anti-gravitational force that moves up, they may lose groundedness. They may lose the contact with this reality. They go into other realities. This reality is also very important. Yeah, you have chosen, this is a focal point for all of us to live here. So this is the third possibility, where by practicing more of groundedness, to honoring the body, staying inside the body, you need to really diligently practice it to stay inside the body and accept this physical life, physical body and your physical system as sacred as spiritual system or spiritual body. People who have this kind of distinction between my spiritual body or astral body is greater than physical body, they tend to make more astral travels. How do we heal this is, you need to consider both the bodies as equal. Your physical body is also equal and important to the, like astral body, as important as astral body. That way you will stay inside the body all the time. Only you can make astral travels during meditation. I think you can, these three possibilities you can look into so that you can address to it. Thank you for sharing, Sanjam. That's beautiful. And one more question you can have. Yeah, anybody. Don't hesitate, don't inhibit yourself. Speak fearlessly, uninhibitedly. That's important for communication. Yeah, please. Yeah. You can take this.
Thank you so much. We talk about, and you have spoken often about maintaining the balance between everyday life and spiritual practices,
right.
Whether that is meditation or visualization, all these things, right? Now, it seems to me that our spiritual life is the one that is eternal as the soul goes through multiple cycles. The everyday life is what is transitory, what is transient. But the reality is, as I find it, is that most of us probably spend 90 or 95% of our time and attention doing everyday, chores, tasks, etc. We probably spend an hour every day, if we're good, on meditation, on visualization. So in some ways that's the wrong way around, right? We spend 90% of our time focusing on the things that are transitory, and about 10% of our time on the part of us that is eternal. And how do we get that balance?
Balance, right. So, to clearly put the question in a proper words, you are asking about how to balance the spiritual life with daily life, regular daily life.
Absolutely.
So, samsara and nirvana, these are the two words we can take. Samsara conveys about daily life, what you deal with daily routine life, regular life. And nirvana represents something about spiritual growth, spiritual practice, eternal truth, the soul as eternal. So here people are caught in this duality, and they caught in this kind of dilemma, whether they need to be more spiritual or more into this material samsara. So they feel when they move into more of spiritual, they will not live life here. 90% time in the spiritual practices and only 10%, you will not know the juiciness of the joy of this life. If you spend too much time in the material samsara, 90% of your time, you find guilty that you are not living your spiritual life. these both things need to go hand in hand together. Have a balance between. Both are important. Our soul has chosen this three-dimensional physical plane life. We have chosen all the adventures, all the experiences here. We want to experience them. Even eating pani puri also is part of our soul want to experience these things. We are not here to starve ourselves. We come here to have all kinds of nice experience in the samsaric plane, and including the relationship, the family life, the children, to everything. But what is important is how to strike a balance between these two, where you are not feeling guilty for spending more time in the material samsara or more time in spiritual life, then you are avoiding this. That guilt can be dealt if you find the middle path. One practice that I can suggest is constantly carrying this knowledge about the middle path. Not to create any kind of distinction between spiritual life and the daily life, nirvana and the samsara. They both are like two sides of the same coin. They enrich each other. They look opposite, but they enrich each other. They nurture each other. Your daily life also feeds your spiritual self. Your spiritual life. Your spiritual life also feeds your daily life. They must go hand in hand together. So for that, this knowledge, awareness in the background that you need to carry about the middle path. Somewhere you find how much time that is good for you to spend in the samsara. How much time you need to spend for your spiritual, cultivating your spiritual life or refinement of your soul and all that, realization of the soul. At some point, what happens is, you will be able to bring samsara and nirvana into an equal plane. Samsara becomes nirvana for you. There is no need for closing your eyes and meditating anymore, because for you it becomes living meditation. Even with open eyes you are aware, you are always connected to the soul, to the vast knowledge of the soul, about all that eternality of the soul. You also have the knowledge this is all transitory, everything passes by. You will not be clinging to anything. You will have such an awareness. Now you will balance both the things, samsara as well as nirvana. You live both as one. That's the pinnacles or the heights of our own realization. But in the middle, we need to practice the middle path. Like all the masters advise to us about this middle path. Whether it is Lord Krishna or Lord Buddha or Lord Christ, all of them, they shared about the middle path. No extremes. That way you will be able to balance. Even samsara also, we become extremists in certain ways. For example, you will be too much into work, avoiding the family. For example, you need to spend some more time or balance time in your family members, where you are not doing more 90% time in the workplace, but only 10% time here. That's also imbalance kind of thing. Everywhere the middle path. Even our sleep, not too much sleep, not too less sleep. And not too much thinking, not too less thinking. The middle path. Everything, if you carry this awareness in background to practice middle path constant, it's a kind of practice and sadhana. Moment by moment, we refine. At least we like Muhammad Ghazni, after 17th attempt, he succeeded. He could, make a success. So in the same way, we also succeed. with sadhana. Middle path is the key. Awareness is the key. And what I share with people is, I tell them 3 hours. From 24 hours they can take out 1 hour for their stillness meditation practice, 1 hour for book reading, Svadhyaya. Books always is like feeds new information, knowledge, particularly the books which inspires you, which expands your horizons of the mind. And the third practice is with positive or like-minded people, a sangha. It's called Sajjana Sangatya, where you are in contact. Now we have such media of like emails, where we are in contact with like-minded people. So these 3 things are so important to actually create a middle path. Rest of the 21 hours is BHEL, means be happy, enjoy life. So we don't need to be doing meditation for 18 hours or 20 hours. It's not needed. 1 hour of meditation practice, 1 hour of Svadhyaya, 1 hour of Sajjana Sangatya. That's all. For cultivation of a nirvanic life or the spiritual life. Rest of the time is awareness, living in everyday life, and all the things. Playing tennis is as important as cleaning the washroom and cleaning the floors in the room, in the house. Our laundry is as important as the computer software skills that you have. Everything is given its own unique place and equal place. So much of sacredness comes in our daily life. Everything is sacred. Thank you, Asheen. Thank you. That's beautiful. So friends, it's good that we all gathered today here. We will all meditate. Something happens in meditation in the Sangha, in the group, always. Even if we do 10 minutes meditation, it is so deep, profound. Okay friends, we'll do 10 minutes meditation now. Let us all sit very, very comfortably. Not to strain your body, not to sit in a rigid posture. Just let free your body parts, muscles, and just relax your body. And join the hands together, because that practice is really good to make a circuit in the body. Either this or clasping the fan, whatever way, you're making a circuit in the body. Or people, they prefer Chin Mudra also. It's alright. Whatever mudra that you're comfortable, but you're making a circuit. There's so much cosmic energy that we absorb during meditation that will be circulated. Otherwise it will be lost when we open our palms. Now, you may close your eyes now. Just bring your awareness to this moment, here and now. Stay inside the body. Feel yourself here in this room, in this place. And now, bring your awareness to your in-breath and your out-breath. Follow your in-breath and follow your out-breath with all the easiness. No tension, no stress, no hurry, no worries, nothing to cling to. Just be easy, natural. Even follow your natural breath. In the outside background sounds that you hear, the Tibetan singing bowls. Whenever these bowl sounds comes to you, just become more alert and aware. It's the nature of the mind to think. It thinks and thinks. You can only just be a witness to the mind, identifying with your thoughts in the mind. And watch the breath. Identify yourself with your breathing. Notice your breath. For the next 10 minutes, we just be mindful of breathing. And we allow ourselves to relax. Relax into this process of observation of the breath. Relax into our breathing. Relax our bodies. Relax our minds. Relax ourselves completely. We stay alert throughout. nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just be yourself. Be with your breath. Be with the silence which is deepening in you. In this state of meditation, and go beyond the time and space. Beyond all that inhibitedness, restriction, limitation, allow yourself, expand your awareness into that unlimited self of you. What is beyond you, your personal self? Stay alert, aware. Notice what is coming into your awareness field. Meditation is becoming more aware. Meditation is an alertness, watchfulness, it is witnessing. Meditation is to know that you are that watcher who is watching everything. You are that witnessing consciousness, witnessing everything. Last 3 minutes. Remain silent, still in your mind, noticing everything. Awareness of your breathing, where you notice that your breath has slowed down. Your breath is much deep, calm and peaceful. Where you notice that your body is much relaxed. You'll notice that certain sensations in the body, either pleasant or unpleasant. You'll notice the mind sometimes which is wandering here and there. Also, you will notice certain insights coming into you, certain intuitions coming to you. Or you may notice certain spiritual experiences coming to you, like visions. Notice and observe. Another 2 minutes. Stay centered, alert, aware. Last 1 minute. Thirty seconds. Fifteen seconds. Five seconds. 4 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. Okay friends, whenever you are ready, you may rub your hands and slowly place your palms on your eyes for a few more seconds. Let this energy from your fingertips be absorbed by your eyes. Let it be distributed in your body. Slowly, whenever you are ready, you may slowly open your eyes. That's wonderful, friends. Welcome into this world now, from the spiritual world to the material world. So both are important. They support each other. The stillness that we experience, even for a few seconds, it is so refreshing. Whenever you reach to a tranquil mind, so refreshing, very energizing. You find it is very addictive also, because that's why people want to have tranquil minds, they meditate. So friends, it's very good, and one or two experiences we share. Okay, what happened when you meditated now, because sharing the experiences, your observations, is very important. Anybody who would like to share, even the newcomers or beginners? Yeah. You can speak over the mic. Yeah. You can first share about your name, where you're coming from.
Hi everybody, I'm Rajan. I'm from Delhi, but I'm in Hyderabad now.
Yeah.
So what I felt during the meditation was something shifted. There was a shift and a movement, something moved. Yeah, forward and backward.
Right, in the body you noticed.
In the body.
Yes.
And I experienced on the left side a shift towards, it was like something moving like this.
Right.
So I experienced some shift.
Yes. That's excellent. That's excellent. Let us clap for this experience, because all these experiences, they convey some understanding to us. They are very common experiences in meditation. The body becoming light, body becoming heavy, body sometimes feeling painful, certain sensations which are painful in the body, and body also swaying, something moving. It is not your physical body which is moving to and fro or sometimes sideways. It is your energy body, astral body, which is moving. In meditation practice, it happens, those who have touched to that no mind state, stillness of mind, suddenly they have these kind of common experiences. Energy currents moving in the body, vibrations, a lot of tingling sensations, vibrations. Second is the movement, astral travel. Some kind of movements. Sometimes this astral body, when it moves, it also brings certain movements in the physical body too. You may move physically also, but mostly it is the energy movement of the astral body. Third experience is the visions. First, initially we see colors, lot of colors, patterns, geometrical shapes, and then later on with nature, visions of the nature. Later on with the visions of the darshan of the masters, even the guides and masters, which we never met and which we never seen live, and we'll see them as these wonderful appearances in front of our eyes. So these are all several types of experiences we get. All experiences are wonderful. They are not distractions. In the way of our spiritual progress, all these experiences will come, natural. But we need to, no need to cling to these experiences. We should not meditate for the sake of experiences. We must meditate only for knowing self. Know thyself. That is the main thing in meditation. Nothing else. All the rest of the things are fruits of meditation. You get good health, you get peaceful mind, you get radiant relationships, you get fine sharpening of intellect, you have wonderful spiritual experiences, astral travels, past lives, future lives, and clairvoyance, aura, and all these experiences, but we should not cling to them. Only take the understanding, the essence of the knowledge from them. Thanks for sharing. That's beautiful. And one more experience. Anybody, how you felt and what is the difficulty, if you found any difficulty in meditation also? Yes, Rina. Zina want to share.
Good morning again.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm Zina. I'm actually from India, but living in Singapore and coming back here. But when I meditate even today, I do feel that heaviness in the body, but I also feel like somebody's pressing it here.
In the third eye.
Yeah. And then I feel a pulsation on the top of my head.
Right.
I do see visions. I feel like I've seen those visions as well. Like I've been there before.
Right.
But they're not, of people and places and all. It's more like in the woods and all. But it's like I've been there before. I can see people and all. I see that it's happened 2 or 3 times. Where I feel I've seen the same thing again.
Right.
Slightly different, but again.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of experiences I have when I meditate.
Yeah.
And apart from that, of course, I am a Catholic, so I used to do, I didn't realize it, but I used to meditate apparently when I used to sit in church. Nobody around, just sit quietly. But there, I always see myself going back there in the church and sitting there again. And, feeling peaceful again. So those are the two kinds of it. Yeah.
Today, what happened in meditation? What kind of experience?
Today was the pressure and the pulsation here. I also saw myself going back to the church again. I also saw a little baby there, and I was sitting next to the baby. I also had a dream this morning, which I know has to be something to do that I need to work on a little more, and I thought of that again, and I felt anger, and I felt I needed to, resolve that anger. So those were the experiences today. Yes.
Thank you, Zina. And all the meditational experiences need to be properly analyzed, understood, and finally integrated. Here, common experience for you is, one is throbbing or pressure on your forehead, where this third eye is located for all of us. This is the third eye, the place of third eye. And people, they get piercing pain, pressure, sometimes as if some nail is put there. It becomes so heavy sometimes. And sometimes they do get, they tend to see lights from here. So different types of third eye experiences. This is a third eye experience. And next thing is throbbing sensation on top of the head. We say that in meditation, this is the place of light. This is the place of wisdom. And this is called Sahasrara, the crown state. The energy which is located in the base of the backbone it moves up during meditation naturally on its own when the mind is zero, and reaches first here, it hits this energy center, then it reaches here naturally. And whenever a person's energy is hitting the third eye, they do get some experiences. One common experience is out of body astral travel, where as a child you were meditating in the church. So that's for you a peaceful place. For you it represents a very holy place for you. You are making an astral travel to that place even now. Because all of us, we are drawn to certain places where we feel tremendous peace. And another place is woods, which you commonly visit. Maybe that's also one sanctuary for you. We all carry these inner sanctuaries. The place where we feel very good. A well-beingness comes to us. So all these experiences are very, very natural. With our sadhana, our soul gets more new experiences too. We move forward. For example, today you saw a child also sitting by the side of you in your astral travel. There is a meaning to it. Later on you can research, you can explore more. Who is that child represents to you? Okay? And thank you, Zina, for sharing. Because all experiences are very, very, very valuable, friends, in meditation. They are the fruits. They are like gifts to you from your own soul. You need to really cherish them, not to reject them, not to be obsessed about them. You should not meditate to get experiences, but you should, when the experiences are coming, take them as beautiful gifts of soul. And later on, all these experiences completely alters your perception towards life. It makes you understand about the eternality of the soul. All the eternal truths are reflected in this experience of the soul. That's the main objective of all the experience of the meditation for us. So friends, it's so good to meet all of you again, and we meet again the next week and next week and next week, every Sunday. And not only you get benefited, but let your friends and your neighbors be benefited too, your family members. You can bring them here whenever you are coming. And not to restrict these kind of sharing platforms and Sajjana Sangatya to yourself. Let everyone be benefited. One more announcement is about Soul Coach class that we are going to start. This is the 6th batch we are going to start. I want Loknath to announce about this. 2nd May onwards, it's going to be started here in Academy. We have been conducting so far 5 Soul Coach batches we have completed. It's the 16-week program about all soul science topics in depth. How we can translate this soul's wisdom into day-to-day life, into daily life, like samsara and nirvana, changing this equation between them. People experience amazing transformations and deep healing when they participated in these classes. It's going to be in Telugu in this batch, but the next batch is going to be announced later on. It will be in English. So this will be every Saturday in LRA. So can you tell a little bit more about this? Yeah. Loknath is in charge of all the Soul Coach training programs that we are offering. It's open, it's free. All your friends and whoever are interested, you can welcome them. It's so enriching because there are many trainers. We're all actually like together as a group. We give this knowledge and meditation, all that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. First of all, thank you so much for giving such an inspiration to all of us on how to speak with others. This Soul Coach training program gives so much of knowledge to us. One way, like we know that the fire of knowledge will break away all our ignorance, all our fears, everything. So in these classes, 16 classes, we are going to take all these spiritual topics and how to apply in daily life. We are going to learn so many practical processes, so many procedures, and different trainers will take classes. Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi will take few classes, and our trainers are there, they will take some other class. One thing is that many times we take knowledge but we don't apply it. We all know that. We all know many spiritual concepts, we read books, but somewhere we miss the application part. Here what we learn is how to apply that knowledge into our daily life, how to live our life with full wisdom. That we learn from these classes. So that will help so many people through this training program. This is the first basic certification program from Life University. We all have attended earlier, and we all got benefited so much from this training program, and we started helping others. So registrations have started. Every Saturday from 10 to 4 the class will be here only. And registration will be free only, free of cost. But there is only one condition, one rule, we can say anything, one priority, one criteria, that it's your dedication. You need to attend with full dedication. Then only we will take the full knowledge. Otherwise, with half knowledge, we'll become so egoistic. We become, we may fall down somewhere. That is why this training program Dr. Newton designed so beautifully to help each and every human being in this earth. So let us all utilize this opportunity. We are giving the applications. You can fill the form. We will be there coordinating. Thank you, friends. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. Nobody wants to leave. Strange. But I say goodbye to all of you. I need to leave. I have some work to do. Thank you.